The Mitsubishi Triton GSR gives you a whole lot of car for not really a lot of money. And I quite like it. Welcome to Four Wheels in a Seat. My name's Alex Dalrymple. Week by week, I drive all the new cars so that you don't have to. If you don't want to miss an episode though, please do hit the subscribe button down below the notification bell. And if you enjoy the video, please do give me a like. This is the 6th generation of the Triton in Australia. Well, kind of. It first appeared the same year I did, 1978, as the Chrysler LC200, and just like me since then, it has grown in every dimension. There are no less than 14 different variants of the Triton available, and this one is the top-spec dual cab, the GSR. Launched last year, the current Triton further evolves Mitsubishi's dynamic shield look, so it's big and aggressive with lots of interesting shapes and dark highlights, or is that dark lowlights, whichever one, it works. I like the textured Mitsubishi logo here across the top, and I really like these light designs. Very intricate, very interesting. Side on, and you can see that this mid-size ute is certainly nowhere as big as some of the large American cars like the Chevrolet Silverado, but it's still a decent size. The GSR gets black 18-inch alloys, rides up nice and high, loads of ground clearance. This particular color is called Yamabuki Orange, only a $200 premium on top of a plain color. And I really like the black roll bar with the Mitsubishi logo cut out here that's included on the GSR. At the back, nice and high. I'm not going to take this cover off because it's an absolute nightmare to put back, but you can option a electric cover. This one doesn't have it, unfortunately, but back here, it's around about 1.5 meters end to end, and you can store just over a ton worth of gear here in the rear tray. Big Mitsubishi logo. Tow bar with a 3.5 ton brake towing capacity. No matter which one of the 14 Tritons you buy, they all come with the same engine, a 2.4 litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel that outputs 150 kilowatts of power and 470 newton meters of torque. Fuel economy clocks in at 7.7 litres per 100 kilometres on a combined cycle. The interior of the latest Triton is a vast improvement over the previous generation, which was really starting to look a bit tired. This feels very contemporary, very fresh, lots of nice, interesting designs and shapes, although lots of hard, scratchy plastic, but the upside of that, of course, is that it's very easy to keep clean. From a technology standpoint, the center console screen is much better than the old one as well. It's 9 inches, sits up on top of the dash, and runs the latest Mitsubishi software, which is quite similar to the Nissan software. But it's still very good and has native navigation, a 6-speaker audio system, which is just all right, and now includes wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. The images from the cameras dotted around the outside of the car are just okay, could be sharper, but there is top-down 360 parking, which does help parking this car in car parks, which are really not designed for a ute this size. Climate controls kept completely out of the center console screen, which we love. Separate controls for those down low here. It's a dual zone system, USB-A, USB-C, rear diff lock, and a 12-volt outlet. We've got wireless phone charging. The gear shifter has been redone as well. The J-gate design has gone. It's now just been replaced with a straightforward shifter. Drive mode selector, hill descent control, the 4-wheel drive controls here. Cup holders are a good size, big old school handbrake. Better sized center console bin than there was in the previous model. The instrument cluster is a hybrid digital analog unit, and look, to be honest, I don't really look at the analog dials. I just look at the screen in the middle and have the digital speed displayed on there because it feels a bit more accurate and it's just more intuitive to look at. And also here on the steering column is the sensor to watch what you're looking at on the road, and it really does keep a very close eye on where you're looking. So if you look off to the side for too long, you'll start getting beeps on the instrument cluster, which is a little bit annoying, and it's also annoying when your hand is here and it covers it because it will beep again to tell you that its view is obstructed. No paddle shifters in the current Triton. We've lost those in this model. You can change gears manually with the gear shifter, but the steering wheel is brand new and I really like it. It feels and looks much more appropriate for a vehicle like this, unlike the last one, which looked like it came out of an old Mitsubishi Magna. But it has a nice feel to it, textured plastics with a bit of stitching here up on top. And the seats in this GSR model are leather. They are heated and have electric adjustment. Very comfortable, actually. Good lumbar support as well. Visibility all around the glass house is absolutely fantastic. Great view out the front because you're up so high, of course. Rear vision is all right, but the sills on back doors do kind of angle upwards, so blind spot vision is a little bit limited, but we've got big wing mirrors and they have blind spot monitors in them as well. And it's also nice to see some of the old Mitsubishi switchgear finally being retired. I can't actually really find too much in here that looks like it came out of my old Mitsubishi Magna from 2008. It all feels and looks very new. And climbing into the back seat of the Triton, and yeah, it's pretty good. It feels about the same as it did last time. I had a look at my old Triton review of the previous model from about 2 years ago, and I do remember that I mentioned something about legroom being a little bit limited. Feels a little bit the same here, but it's not so bad to be a deal breaker. I'm 190 centimeters tall and I'm just touching the seat in front. Toe room is quite limited though, so my toes are kind of squashed under the seat in front. Armrest with cup holders, air vents are up in the ceiling, headroom's pretty good, and a Jesus bar if you're heading off-road and you need to hold on for dear life, that's here as well. So yeah, back seat of the Triton, it's very upright, but not too uncomfortable. It's pretty good. One of the first things you notice driving the Triton is just how easy it is to drive. Unlike some other ladder frame utes and SUVs, this drives like a small car. I mean, just, you know, it is obviously much larger and you do feel its bulk, but it feels quite nimble and it's just easy to drive. The only time it does get perhaps a little trickier is when you're parking. Because of the long overhangs, especially at the back, you really can't quite get an idea of how close you are to a wall or, you know, the back of a car park without relying on the cameras. And I mean, that's fine, but even then, because of the distortion in the camera lens, you still can't really quite tell how close you are. So I guess you probably get used to that as time goes by. Yeah, so that driver monitoring system, if you take your eyes off the road or you cover it with your hand here on the steering wheel, you know, if you're not holding the wheel properly at 9 and 3, it will start beeping at you, and that is a little annoying. But unlike, say, a Hyundai or Kia, it doesn't beep at you if you're driving too fast. Not that I would ever do that. So with all of the usual four-wheel drive controls where you can select whether this car is in two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive or four-low, there are also a few different drive modes. Not that there's really much difference between them, and there's really only Eco and Normal to choose from. Eco just kind of does what it says on the box and dulls everything down, and Normal is just normal. Despite the GSR badge, there is no sporty performance. It's all about the look and the interior comfort. Is the Mitsubishi Triton a turnback car? A car so good looking that you have to turn back and look at it after you've parked it? In GSR spec, in Yamabuki orange, yeah, it looks pretty good. It's pretty outstanding. In its plain white paint as a regular workaday ute, maybe not. It kind of does blend into the background a bit amongst every other ute on the road, but that's not to say it's ugly. I think the other thing that makes the Triton a little bit easier to live with is the suspension. It's not quite as intense as you get in some other ladder frame SUVs and utes. You don't really feel like you're balancing as much on the top of a pinhead. Don't get me wrong, there is still quite a bit of travel in the suspension. As you can see, this car does ride up quite high, but it just feels a little better tuned. It's not as all over the place, except when you're going down my driveway at home, then it really does get quite bouncy. But compared to some other cars I've driven, this is pretty good. It's hard to think of two more opposite cars than the one I reviewed last week, the fully electric MG Cyberster, compared to the diesel Mitsubishi Triton. It's just like opposite ends of the spectrum. I'm pleasantly surprised by the Triton. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I do, but it's really good. If there's just one little thing that's missing though, steering wheel heating. It's been quite cold over the last few days. The seat heating's great. Just need to keep my hands warm. Okay, so here's a bit of a car parking test. Not a lot of room in this car park to maneuver. And let's just see how hard it is to get the Triton in. Oh my God, that's narrow. I'm not fitting in that spot. I'm right in between two spots at the moment. Okay, let's pull out and try again. try it from a different angle. Okay, you can see in the top-down view, it looks okay. Getting quite close to the tree behind me, but sensors are, oh no, there were that, oh shit, I hate that. The emergency braking, oh my God, when you get too close to an object. I really hate those systems. I know that they serve a purpose, but they never cease to give me a heart attack. And I'm really not that close to it. I mean, I can see. Come on, come on, come on. That'll have to do, I think. I think that's about as in as I'm gonna get. As I said at the top, the Triton gives you a lot of car for not a lot of money, and in the GSR spec anyway, it is certainly one of the better performing and more comfortable utes on the road.